Welcome to the Last Resort Sugar Detox. This is a free online course to walk you through your sugar detox and teach you about sugar addiction. More importantly, it will teach you how to make sugar freedom a lifestyle and not the same old yo-yo diet. Make sure you download the free book below as it corresponds with the videos and you can follow along. If you found us somewhere in the middle of the video series, don't forget to go back to video number 1 and watch the whole series and subscribe for weekly updates. Now grab your free course guide by clicking the link below in the show notes. Here's your next video. Hey, welcome back. This is chapter 2. You'll see it in your book if you're reading. It's who the heck is this guy? Who am I and why should you listen to me? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, how I came to evolve to the idea that sugar was not such a great thing for me or my family. So what you'll see in the thing, just a quick housekeeping, is these things will last between 5 and 10 minutes. Some will be longer, some will be shorter, but they're going to be 5 to 10 minutes, so you can take them in bite-sized pieces, or you can just binge watch them all the way through like they do on Netflix. So anyway, it all started back in college almost. I was bartending to get through college, and what I learned was all the drinks were free. Everybody had to come to me to get their drinks. So I just started to observe this, and what happened was I started to observe the people that drank the caffeinated beverage, the Cokes and the coffees and what have you, and the iced teas. And a very strange phenomenon developed very quickly. It didn't matter if you were the 16-year-old busboy or busgirl or you were the cook at 60. If you drank large amounts of caffeinated beverages, you had dark circles under your eyes. And I could literally, over 60 months or a year, watch the dark circles evolve from someone who hadn't had them before, who now had free access to caffeinated beverages and never really, and in that environment, there's a lot of coffee drinking and a lot of cola drinking and a lot of iced tea drinking. So anyway, I started to recognize this, and it just started me on a journey, literally, of a discovery of what we were ingesting in our bodies. The first stop for me, I'm going to be honest with you folks, a little side note, if you will, is that I recovered from alcohol and drug abuse, okay? I was a drug addict, alcoholic. I mean, this is all probably pretty well known by now if you're watching this or if you read any of our literature or any of our websites. But it's really not the focus of this. But I want to tell you why it's important, and that is, I learned a lot about addiction and addiction recovery and about change and about ingesting substances and what they were like. So what happened is, when I first started getting sober, when I started to go to some support groups and whatever, I noticed that everybody, it was like a caffeine and sugar smorgasbord, right? Everybody was drinking all of this coffee and all this, I don't know if you've ever heard of the freshman 15, okay? Well, in college, the freshman 15 is what mostly people put on 15 or 20, so not everyone, of course, but people put on 15 or 20 pounds because they just get nervous in the new environment or whatever, and they're eating a little bit extra, and they put on 15 pounds. Very common phenomenon. You can look at it, Google it, it's very common. And what happened in the recovery groups was that the same thing happened with the caffeine and the sugar. And sometimes people went past their 15 pounds, if you will. And they were, they just did too much sugar, too much caffeine. It became like a crutch, if you will. They took to calling me the weird addiction specialist. Now it's, whatever. The weird addiction specialist is a strange name. But they were focused on the idea that as long as I didn't drink alcohol or use other drugs, what they called hard drugs, then I'd be fine. And I just didn't see it that way, because really early on, caffeine gave me a problem. Even after observing it back in the bars and restaurants, I was still pretty much a caffeine addict and definitely a sugar addict. And so I was really using these products, and I was anxious, and there's a lot of anxiety, and gained some weight, and it was sleepless nights. I couldn't sleep at night. I was always taking Tylenol for headaches because I'd try and quit. So it was really, to me, very nasty, and I didn't like either one. So just as a quick side note, we will go over caffeine as a part of your withdrawals. It's not the focus of this course, but it is kind of important, and I really want you to know a little bit about it if you can, so if you would. So, all right, so anyway, they were calling me the weird addiction specialist, but over that time period, you know, I got married, I had a couple of children, they were twins, and what I did is I just said to myself there was very little research. Now this is going back very, very short of 30 years, almost like 29 and a half years, almost 30 full years ago. And I just said, I don't think children should have this. And so my wife, I convinced her to be involved in this experiment, if you will. It didn't seem like it could hurt. So what happened is, she didn't have any sugar while she was pregnant, or caffeine, or flour. Can you imagine, right? And so what happened is, the boys were raised till they were 6 years old. What happened was the boys were raised till they were 6 years old with no flour, no sugar, and no caffeine. Now, there's a picture of their first birthday party there somewhere, you'll see it. But it was just, it was hard, I'll be honest with you. Other parents at birthday parties, the school, the Montessori school, literally our own parents and grandparents and uncles, they thought we were depriving the kids of something. It was like a terrible injustice we were doing to the kids. But I really believe that their brain developed better. I really, with all my heart, believe that my children's brain developed. Now, I'm kind of a smart guy. My ex-wife is a little bit kind of smart too. But my boys are rocket scientist smart. 1,600 on their SATs, perfect score. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates kind of scores on their SATs, and I just believe that their brain developed better, right? So, now on the other side of the spectrum, I have my parents, and this science is coming out daily, both suffering from Alzheimer's disease. My mother, she's been a sugar junkie her entire life. And my father, who was a drinker his whole life, quit drinking, cut back on drinking, and he joined my mother in the sugar binge. And the both of them, I just heard from my brother that they're still living in the home with care. They both have Alzheimer's. They bought 40 of the ice cream bars because they just were stocking it in the refrigerator, and they were all gone in less than a week. Okay, so that's, I don't know, what's the math on that? It's insane, right? 40 ice cream bars between two people in 7 days. So you can see that, without any filters, if you will, they're drawn to the sugar. So it's just been, for me and everyone that I've helped, the lessening of anxiety. A lot of people come here, folks, and we're going to go on to the next video, but a lot of people come here to lose weight, okay? And that is, you can be very successful losing weight with this program. Except for me and for a lot of other people, and as another byproduct to this is that there's a lot less anxiety, a lot less nervousness, your skin is a lot better. There's a lot of benefits to not using sugar, flour, caffeine, whatever. So anyway, I'll see you on the next video. I'm going to take a little short break, and we'll see you on the next video. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to download the free guide below and follow along. Just follow along in the series, as the episodes are all clearly marked. If the next episode is not up yet, then make sure you subscribe so we can notify you when it drops.